Hey there, class. Thank you for taking the time to watch my virtual cultural exploration of Japan. I worked really hard on it, and I'm really excited to do this presentation, so here we go. This is just a table of contents that I made because I wanted to make another slide and have some fun with it. So, communication styles, traditions, values, fun fact, and the reason why I picked this country to talk about, and a recipe. So, communication styles, high context communication. This is something that's going to kind of go throughout this entire presentation, but in the Western world, we have very direct communication, aka, I tell you how I feel, I tell you right to your face, looking you in your eyes like I am right now, and it's very uncomfortable, I know. Whereas in Asia and definitely in Japan, there's indirect communication. Your tone matters, having silence matters, body language, and of course having social cues and context of what you guys are talking about. And this will also come into play later when we talk about the hierarchy of power in Japan. But basically, this is just saying sometimes you're not going to have a direct conversation in Japan, and that's just how it's going to go. And then there are these three terms that I felt were good to talk about. Wa, which is harmony, that avoids conflict and criticism, preserves your relationships because you don't want to have an argument. Hone and tatame, which hone is your true feelings, your honest opinions, something maybe you would share in private or to yourself and keep to yourself. Whereas tatame is the antithesis of that. It's your public persona, the socially appropriate response to save face, aka, what's the right thing to say here? Not what I believe. What's the right thing to say? And again, silence, respect, thoughtfulness, controlling your emotions, knowing your social cues and the situation that you're in. And then bowing, you have a shallow bow for respecting your other, medium bow typically to establish professionalism, and a deep bow for profound respect for typically an elder. Traditions, tea. This is always one that I had an interest in. I enjoy tea a lot. But this talks about respect, mindfulness, harmony, discipline. It was kind of brought to Japan from China in the 8th century. And again, it's a Zen practice of basically peace and harmony. There's a lot of festivals that happen in Japan. The one that I highlighted here is the Gion Matsuri, which takes place in Kyoto, Japan from July 17th through July 24th. And originally in 869 CE, it was founded to go against plagues and things like that to kind of get your mind off of it. And nowadays, neighborhoods make floats, and it really establishes a sense of community, which is a big part of Japanese culture. And then in temple, you have two really distinct religions that I highlighted. Shinto, which is the indigenous religion, kind of their own made religion, where they talk about kami, divine spirits, and ancestors that you have a relationship with, and Buddhism, which was brought to them around the 6th century CE, which really highlights meditation, chanting, and rituals. And then values, you have respect and hierarchy. Again, this is about the totem pole, respecting your elders, authority figures, your parents, having honor and etiquette, knowing when to bow, and what kind of bow you need to have, and of course respecting yourself, which goes into hard work and discipline. There's a a belief in Japan called gambaru, which is to persist, do your best, and to endure. There's responsibility and discipline in the workplace culture and self-control, just values that I employ myself and I really respect in the Japanese culture. And also there's collective success. So this is something that I don't think it's highlighted as much that I think should be highlighted after doing research on this. People in Japan really want their own family to do well, so they'll give educational support, putting people through college, sending them to college away from home, financial contributions, and also encouraging group success, that if we do this all together, we can all succeed as one group, which really goes into the workplace as well. Fun fact, the reason why I picked Japan, I'm a big Yankees fan, so Ichiro spent some time as the Yankees, one of my favorite baseball players ever. He has the most hits in baseball history with 4,367 between his time in the Nippon Budokan League in Japan and Major League Baseball. I loved how he exuded honor and love for the game, and he was a really big Japanese icon, probably the biggest Japanese baseball player until Shohei Ohtani, of course, who I featured on the table of contents slide. Gojira, who was at the start of this presentation. I have a phone case of Gojira. He has the first film, of course, which talks about nuclear destruction, was a really big healing part for Japanese culture and their survival through World War II and internment camps and things of that nature. Um, Kaiju storytelling, which became a really big money maker and also just a way to conduct and make new movies. And of course, billions of dollars over the 30 plus Godzilla movies between Toho Productions and Legend Pictures here in America. Um, World leading IP innovation. I mean, everybody here knows about anime now. I was there when it was not cool to be a fan of anime. Naruto, Speed Racer, Dragon Ball Z were my first like 3 big anime. Pokemon is genuinely the biggest IP in the world. Everybody collects Pokemon cards. Everybody watches the show. Uh, Everybody plays the games. It makes the most money, even more than Disney. I fact checked it, I promise. And Studio Ghibli is the best animation of all time, in my opinion. I think everybody should watch Studio Ghibli. Kiki's Delivery Service is my favorite. It's my number 1 recommendation. And then this is gyoza. So this is traditionally actually a Chinese dish, but this version is Japanese inspired because of the way that these are fried golden brown on the bottom. And these are not dumplings. That's something that people mix up all the time. Gyoza pot stickers are not dumplings. So this is the recipe. I also linked it here. It's a really good recipe. I made it myself. Making the dough yourself, I do not recommend for the first time, but there you go. Have fun.